Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review The Creator. And this is a new action, adventure, sci-fi, thriller epic from Gareth Edwards, who previously did films like Godzilla and Rogue One, a Star Wars story. And this particular film takes us into a future where machines, artificial intelligence has evolved into their own community, and they nuked Los Angeles as they were supposed to be protecting us. And the Western world is extremely anti-artificial intelligence, while the Eastern world in New Asia, they're kind of harboring them. They're treated as equals in this community, and there's an all-out war. And at the center of it, you have John David Washington's character, who has this deep connection that's set up in the opening scene of this film, and this prejudice against machines. And he's on this mission to destroy the secret weapon of the machines, which turns out to be Alfie, portrayed by Madeline Voiles. He winds up going on this journey of self-discovery, realizing the value of this artificial life, and winding up becoming a protector for this child. And you have this big cast, you have this big scope of this film, and by far the biggest selling point is what Gareth Edwards is able to do with the action, which is intense and enthralling, with the special effects that are off the chart. For an $80 million movie, this looks amazing. They so perfectly utilize the special effects to create these elements of these characters, creating these big machines, and especially this giant structure height flying above the sky that humanity has to destroy the machines and hunt them. You have Greg Fraser and Oren Soffer, who are the cinematographers that create this breathtakingly beautiful film. Hans Zimmer doing his Hans Zimmer thing with the score, creating this atmosphere. You have John David Washington, who I think's solid, in the lead here. Madeline Voiles really stands out. This young girl really brings a lot of charm and charisma to this role of this small artificial intelligent child. But then you have the likes of Gemma Chan, Allison Janney, Ken Watanabe, Ralph Ineson, who bring a lot of that veteran presence as well, especially Janney, and Ken Watanabe is especially into this film. Now, this film, from a thematic standpoint, from an emotional standpoint, and a character standpoint, really deals in very broad strokes. It's the idea of they're using the machine prejudice, in a way that is representative of our own prejudice against the others of today, and Western civilization versus some of these other areas in our world. It's that racism, that prejudice, that it's pretty obvious that it's trying to get across in terms of its themes. It has the beats of these big emotional moments, but they don't really feel like they hit in that truly deep emotional kind of way. It's more of okay, I can understand why I feel for this character, instead of, wow, I really feel for this character. So I think intellectually, from a script standpoint and the narrative beats, it's there. It just never really connects on a much deeper level. So on some level, this film does feel a little hollow and a little shallow in terms of that emotional substance and some of the deep thematic substance, where it's kind of just skating across the surface and it's a little bit more obvious. But the action, the special effects in this journey, and the performances are so impactful that it does make this a worthwhile experience. It's big in scope. It is sprawling. It is a view to watch, and I got to watch it in Dolby. But this is certainly worth a watch. It's some really strong new science fiction. Even though it could have been even greater and even more impactful, it still delivers enough to make it worth a watch. But those are my thoughts on The Creator. Let me know what you think, and let's talk some movies. But thank you as always for tuning in and supporting your Wasteland reviewer.